Hi, Internet viewers. Frank Rauscher again. We're on our whimsical carving. We are doing the mouse. And for those, I don't know if you caught my first video, I showed you how to lay it out from the pattern and to make up the blank if you wanted to do it on your own. I also have kits available if anybody wants to follow me on this. And for the ones that really want to get very authentic looking, I did another one where I wood burned it. So I'm giving you a lot of choices here, but this one here is going to be a nice, what they call a smoothie. It's just been shaped, and we really didn't do too much to it other than shaping, okay? And it should be a project that should go pretty fast. This one here takes a little longer because I burned the whole thing. So I'm giving you an idea on this. And for those who may miss the first go around, here's how they work. They're sitting on a glass, and you could plug them in on almost anything that has an edge, and they look like they're peering into it. So it's a real cute setup for them. And if anybody's interested in wanting to try it, we could get you a kit out there and you can follow along with us, okay? And I have the patterns and everything else. And if somebody just wants the pattern and make your own, I could do that too. So I just wanted to let you know that it's out there, it's available, and it's something we're going to have some fun with, and it shouldn't take that long to do. Not like a bird where it takes quite a bit of videos to get to it. So I'm going to try to take you now. We had, I showed you how to cut the blank out, and we put a center line all the way through on both sides, and you just get your ruler on the width. These are only about 1 inch wide. So a 1/2 inch in, you get a line going all the way through the whole thing, because we work off the center line, and I'll show you how to do that. On this one, we're going to do some drawing on it, and we're going to use the pattern I have. And I have a pattern. Let me see if I can grab it here for you. The pattern's kind of sort of foolproof in the sense that it gives you all the views that you would need to get the piece together. Because if you have to look at the right side or the left side, it's all there, okay? So we're going to try to help you out on that end as well. But what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be mapping out the markings that go onto the piece, and then we'll see how much time we have, and we'll go from there. I'm trying not to make these too long. These are going to be like short videos. And what I'm going to ask you to do is do the one side, do the other side, and I'll work with you on that to try to map it out. And then what we'll do, maybe on the next video, we'll start really shaping it like crazy. But we have to get the what is on basically the pattern here. We have to get all this onto the piece of wood so that you have some idea where to locate things. So I'm going to go through that. I'm going to bring my camera down so that you could see that. But in the meantime, for anybody that wants to try these, okay, and get into it with us, I do have kits available. I have catalogs, okay, and it lists the kits that are available, which usually is a pattern, glass eyes, the blank. If it's birds, you'll have the feet in there. In this case here, we're making the feet as part of the unit for the mouse, okay? So I have all that available, and I have a slew of birds I've done over a long period of time, and they're listed. I have a whole sheet full of all different kits available. And then I do also handle wood burners and micro grinders for shaping and everything else, and bits and so on. So if you want, you could write to me, which is Rauscher. This is my email address. It's Rauscher, Rauscher, Frank, Frank, 7 @gmail.com. And if you send me your email address by writing to me and asking for a catalog, then I could just send that electronically right out to you, okay? And this goes for any of the equipment I have. Some customers were looking for books. I do have certain books on certain subject matters, but I'm limited to that. But if somebody's looking for books too, I do have some of those, especially like relief carving, or you're looking for patterns for the relief, or even doing ducks. I have books on that. I've got quite a few. If you need bird identification books, I have a real good one on that. That gives you pictures and everything else of birds and the whole bit. So definitely contact me. And if you're looking for a specific thing like a duck or whatever, or songbirds, I could put you on to items that I think are really good, and I'll try to guide you to what I think's a real good book that you would, I think, enjoy and learn a lot from, just like I'm trying to do here, okay? So bear with me. I'm going to move the camera down, and then we'll start marking up the blank, okay? So hang on. One other thing I forgot, which is very important, is if you are enjoying these videos that I'm providing you, I would appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up, and if you would subscribe to my channel. That really helps me in the algorithms for YouTube. And if anybody ever wants to contribute to me as far as what I'm providing, I'd appreciate that as well, too. I don't really go after that. I used to teach where I ran maybe 4 classes a week, and now I'm just devoting my time to YouTube. So I'm trying to get it out there. And if anybody, I would also say, I'm showing you my techniques, but also be aware that if there's somebody out there that you see that's a friend of yours, or you've seen the works and it's really nice, get with them, ask them, because that's how you develop. You learn from me, and I'm not the end all, and then you incorporate some of the things you learn from them, and you come up with your own style. So I'm trying to just say to you, be open about grabbing information wherever you can. So let me cut this short, and we'll get right back to marking up the mouse. Okay, we're back at it. Now, what I'm going to do, let me get a cleaner piece of wood here. This is the pattern. I showed you the last time how I cut this out. And then what I'm doing is I trimmed this back. Originally, this had wood straight on down, and I trimmed this in. So you don't really have to hog that out. And I'm trying to just alleviate some of the work for you. Now, I didn't chamfer these corners like I do with the what's the name, bird, but I want you to work with the piece you have, because as we get into this, you're going to round this over. This is like the finished piece here, and we'll create this as we go. But the main thing I need is to transfer these markings that we have that's inside on the piece. So I'm going to show you the one that's done already, and then I'm going to show you how I go about doing it. Here's the view of the mouse facing that direction. So this is an exact duplicate of that outline. So I'm going to come over here. I hope I'm centered up here so that you can see this well. You have this ear, and it's like a circle almost. So I'm going to come around here like this, and just when that comes around and meets this side, you're going to swing in a little bit like this. And then on this side, where the back stops, which would be like here, you're continuing this down like this, okay? It's not that long, and we're going to like freelance it. I'm not going to measure this as much as maybe the eyes we will, to try to get them centered up really well. But everything else is, you can say we came in about 1/4 of an inch on this, and we're still like making a circle, even though we're not making a full circle. In the same way here, we're continuing what would be the arc coming around, okay? And this is probably a little bit more, maybe 5/16 down from here, okay? Now, I'm going to ask you to go in and maybe I don't want to say about 1/8 of an inch or less. It's a little less than 1/8 of an inch. I want you to come in and circle that ear just like that inside. So we have the outside is the edge, which is this here, and then we put one inside, and notice I cut it short here and I cut it short here. I don't want you to come all the way down or anything like that. We're just trying to get that going. Now, I'm going to, just to sort of help you out if we can do this, this is to scale. So everything, you could lay it right on there and then move it over. Now, where we're about 1/4 of an inch away from where this leg comes around, if we just start by putting this in, we figure out where the leg actually has like a tangent point here where it's arcing. I'm going to raise my pencil up, get this over there, and then I'm going to just put a mark, and it's about maybe 1/4 of an inch in from this edge. So from this edge in, I come in 1/4 of an inch. Now, I'm going to start making this arc, okay? Now, let's see if I can do this right and not screw you up. Excuse me. I got my hat on, and I'm going to turn it around because it's banging my camera here. What I want to do is establish the legs and the feet and what have you on here. And one of the spots, like here's like the face area here, and we have like a little nose that just pops in here, so you can just put like a little marking. This is going to dissipate or disappear, I should say, later. So I'm not really that concerned. But where we have to get the boundary for this leg coming, the front leg coming around, it occurs right about, let's see if I could do this correctly without misleading you here. This is coming up, and it's right about here. And we have this leg, okay? Right where it comes up and then it turns and comes down. I'm going to say to you, come back about 1/8 of an inch of a straight line going straight across here. And then I'm going to draw this. I'm going to come up and around. So from here, I'm going to come up, and then I'm going to look at my spacing between here and here is about another 1/4 of an inch. So from the end of here down to this leg here, the front leg, it's about a 1/4 of an inch. So it's right in here. So I'm going to ask you to roll this around. Now, see if we could draw this in pretty good. And then from here to here, if I was drawing like a straight line, I'm looking at it about like 3/8 or something like that. I'd say right about here is that point right there. So it's about 5/16, I guess, from here to here in a straight line basis. So if you came down and joined up here, let me try to clean this up a little bit, and then we'll try to draw that leg in. Okay, so I'm coming down here like this, and then it turns with an arc, and it comes down. Now, the paw is going to get rounded, but right now we sort of did a straight line, so don't concern yourself too much on that. Now, you got about 1/8 of an inch thickness, maybe a little bit more, and then it gets wider as it comes around. So I'm going to ask you to come up just a little bit, maybe about 1/8 of an inch, and then we're going to turn. Okay. And then from here to here, I'm just eyeballing it, and I'm going to say that that is right about here, which is maybe 5/16 from here to here. You're going to roll this down and join up with that. And that's going to be that leg right there. We can adjust this too as we go too, so don't feel as though we're so locked in here. But I want you to try to draw, and I know I make it look easy sometimes because I can draw sometimes, and watch me. I'll make some real foo-fas on doing the wrong thing sometimes. So don't think I'm perfect here. I'm not. Now, I'm going to do this lower leg. Now, we know that's buttoned right up to the front leg here. So in here, I'm going to come in just a little bit higher than this one, right in here. And then I'm going to come down onto here, okay, like this. Let's see if I got that right. Maybe a little bit more. I'm cheating here. This should come over about 1/8 of an inch. So this is going to be higher than this point up here, and then it's going to be about 1/8 inch out from here to here, and then we're going to draw this down here like so, and you're going to come almost straight down until you hit here. Okay, and this, see this, it's like the leg on the back end here. It's going to come down here, and then right about here on the piece where I got a notch in there, you're going to turn that, okay, like this. And then remember we had this one started, we came in about 1/4 of an inch over here. We're going to come over and join this. Now you can massage this too. This isn't, the end all here, but we try to do the best we can. Now I'm going to come up, and you should have, even this I should bring down a little bit more. I think I'm bringing this down. I'm going to fudge this a little bit and bring that down a little bit more. I'm looking at the thickness in here. you want to come out, you're actually drawing this like this. This is tucked in under this front foot right here. We're going to develop the hind foot, and we're going to come out right here, and I'm going to swing over and come down. So I'm going to come off of here, and then I'm going to come down, and I'm looking at this, and this looks a little bit, not quite a quarter of an inch, but it's a little short of a quarter of an inch, and it comes down right to there. Okay, and you don't want to go past the nose. If you're like lining something up here, here's the nose down here, and your point for this is a little higher. So if you got too low, just bring it back. And then this swings back up and touches the upper foot, or the upper leg, I should say. So I'm going to come up. Now we're making a circle here, where if I were to draw this in as a circle, we almost have that as a circle right here. So we go from here, we touch that leg up here, we come off of that, and then we swing down. Okay, just like that. And if we have to massage it a little bit, you know, I'm looking like I'm really getting chintzy on here. I'm looking at this to this is a little better than 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to raise that up just to show you. I'll work this out a little bit and go a little higher right in there. Now, for this here, I'm going to push this up because it has about 1/8 of an inch, a little bit better right in here, same here. And then I'm going to take it out just a little bit more. So I'm going to raise this slightly so you can see it. But it does come up here. And I'm just going to go a little bit higher than where I was before. Okay, just like that. And if you get a pattern from me, you can measure everything, you know. This is the scale. This whole thing's the scale. So if you want to really get technical, you can get a ruler and you can just measure everything, you know, all the way around, just to make sure you're on the money. Now, the markings aren't all that, not a whole lot. What I'm trying to do now is I want to get these established points on here, and then from there, I'm going to have you go in and we'll start shaping this and put it together, and I'll show you how to do that, and I'll tell you what bits really help doing it. Okay, so we have almost the whole shape that we need to pick up and relieve and get it going is what we have here. Okay, we're in pretty good shape. We're coming up here like so. Okay, now the only thing we don't have placed yet, and if I were to give you a number to say where is this eye, I'll draw a line through here, and then I'll draw a line up here, and I'll measure between those two, and it looks like it comes out, about, let's see, you got 3/4 of an inch up. So if you come from the top of the head down in the same position as that now, and you could also do it this way, just like I drew a line straight out here, you could come over here and put this right on top of your pattern, and where it pops out that line right here, then you know that the eye starts right here, but I'm going to check myself. I'm going to put a dot there. I'm also going to come over, and from the top of the ear down, I'm going to do 3/4 and put a dot right there. Well, that doesn't look like the same as here. Let's see if I did that right. It is, yeah, it's 3/4. 3/4 down is right there. That's it. Yep. Now, the eye coming in is about 3/16 in. Okay, so I got a dot there, but I'm going to measure in 3/16 from the outside edge in, just to give me some 0 point. There it is right there. That is my eye center line. Now, if you noticed, I have a little bit of an arc here. So I'm just going to throw an arc right through there, but I still see that dot. And then I'm going to draw another line coming right across here, like so. Now, that is going to, I'm trying to see what I used. I think it was let me measure this eye. I'm trying to remember what millimeter eye I used in there. It's a 5mm eye, okay? So the eye is like, if you did like all the way around, if you came out from the crosshairs here, you got this plus a little bit of an arc that crosses through that line. If you came out 2.5 and 2.5 and 2.5 and 2.5, that should give you a 5mm circle there. And that's how you get the eye in. That's where the eye should be, okay? Now that we have that, we're going to the other side, okay? Now, the one thing I think I told you in the last video, remember I said, make sure that you have a center line. Now, this piece of wood is going to be about 1 inch wide. So you want to come in and put a dot there and a dot up here, measure it again, and put a dot. And then if you have a flexible ruler that you could bend and turn like that, that's great. And of course, if you take the middle of the tail and put a dot so that you have an end point and you have something in the middle of the body, and you bend your ruler down like so, you can draw a straight line right through it, or at least pretty close to it. So that we're going to base what we change or take off on this side. We're going to do the same thing on that side, symmetrical about the center line. So I'm just going to eyeball this a little bit, but you want to come in, let's play it safe again and do it right. I'm going to come in and I'm going to get this piece of wood isn't exactly 1 inch. It's pretty close, but I'll bring this around the bottom, okay, and get this down here. Now it's got my point down there. It's got my point up here, and I lay this in here. A lot of times I draw this freehand, but not everybody can do that. So yeah, let me draw it freehand. It gets a little tricky with the bends in here, but what I do is I take half of the wood, it's the same distance from here out to there, and bring that up. And then I'm going to draw this. I have the capabilities of drawing straight lines on pieces of wood that go up and down and sideways and everything else. So I'm sort of trying to get everything right on. Now, if I did it right, these should match up at the top here, okay? So I have a center line going all the way through this baby. So we did this side, now we're going to do this side. So we're going to get to this one facing to the left side, and I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do the same thing. Here's the ear coming around. So we have that circle there. I'm going to come in maybe 1/4 of an inch down from this point right here. Let me just get some of the fuzz out of there. This is coming around, and I'm going to come down 1/4 and stop there. This is the outside edge. And we're going to come over here, and we're going to come in just a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch, okay? It's from here to here. It's where this back hits that point. So from there to there is what I'm talking about. It's a little bit more than 1/4. Once you get that established like that, then I'm going to ask you to go in not quite 1/8 of an inch, maybe just a hair short of that, and draw a circle, just mimicking the shape of the ear, just like that, okay? We'll do that. Now, just to make sure I'm still on the same page, where this leg comes out, I'm going to lay this up here, and I'm going to say that that leg is going to start right about here. Let's see if I got that in the same spot. Looks pretty close. So this little segment here, I'm going to start right here. And I'm doing about 1/8 of an inch, maybe a hair's breadth more. Then I'm going to go straight up, which is this leg. And I'm going to come up here like this. And this is almost like 3/8 up. And once you get up to here, then you got 3/8 from here to here. Now you're turning it. Remember I said we were about 1/4 of an inch off of this point. So 1/4 of an inch is about here, so I'll put a dot. And over here, we're, I'd say about 5/16 out. So from where this corner and this one match, it's about 5/16. So I'll come out and I'll put a dot there. So what I'm going to do is go from dot to dot and bring this over and drop down in. And hopefully we'll get pretty close to this leg right here. Now, remember, we come back up again, but it's at least a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch, just about. It comes up. Then you have almost 1/8 of an inch, and it turns. So you have 1/8 of an inch here and here. Then I'm going to go over. Okay. Which is this portion right here. And then I'm looking at between here and here, you got about 3/8 from here to here. So from about this point down, there's your 3/8, which is like that point. I'm going to swing that down and over. So I'm going to do this. I don't know how accurate I am. Good. I'm going to be close. Okay. And you can massage this too. You know, don't feel as though it's the end of the world here. Now we're going to do this leg, which is the hind leg, and I'm going to come down, but notice this foot is lower than this, so we got to come back up on this one right in here. So, but we still want to like have at least 1/8 of an inch, if not more. And we're going to draw this. We're just a little bit above this foot, which is that right there. And then we come up not quite maybe a little better than a 16th, and still maintain an 1/8 of an inch here. At least you need that. If not, then we'll move this up a little bit and adjust it. So I'm going to go from here. I'm going to, well, here we are. I'm sorry. From here, I'm going to drop that down. So we're not quite an 1/8 of an inch apart, but I'm going to turn this down like so, which is this leg. And then right where, remember I was saying where this notch is here, that's really where this is occurring. Now let me just make sure I'm just slightly above it. Okay, so here's where that edge is right there. I just drew it straight across. So, what we're going to do is we're going to come down, and then I'm going to turn right onto that line, like so. Okay, so I'm drawing this. Now, we're going to come back here. We got this sticking out. We have this corner here I want to try to draw in. So we come back on this leg, maybe 5/16 from here back, and we drop down. Now remember, we're almost 1/4 of an inch, a little shy of 1/4 of an inch. So from here over, there should be not quite 1/4 of an inch, but like about that. Not quite, but almost there. So we come down, and notice that we're about 1/4 of an inch up. So you don't want to get down to here. You want to be about 1/4 of an inch up. Now, I'm going to come back up, because this comes up, and it touches this upper leg. So I'm going to draw this back up again, hit that. Now, it's the same deal again. If I lay this just off of this pattern, you can see that from here to here is about 1/4 of an inch. So from here in 1/4 of an inch, I sort of get this tangent or this arc right in there. Okay, so I know I want to make a circle. So, and what I mean by a circle is this right here. See, this is almost a circle right in here. If you could picture it, that's almost a circle. Maybe I didn't show you that as well on the other side, but it is a circle. It's like this. This is a circle. Okay. So you're trying to get, and that circle, just to give you a size, is about 9/16. And this is exactly the same, 9/16. Now, I'm going to try to get that circle. So here we go. We came up here. We're going to come off of this right here and come down. We're going to meet this point right there. Excuse me. Got a tickle in my throat. I'm going to come down to where this line is almost down here. And I'm going to flatten it out right there. Excuse me. I'm joining this up. I hope I ain't blocking it on the camera. So this is right here, but your circle is right in here. But we don't need that circle. I'm just saying that's what we have. It's really a circle right there. And if I just check this out, I'm almost on it. 9/16 from here to here. Excuse me. I gotta get something to drink here. Sorry about that. Okay, so we now, you don't want to put any more extraneous lines in there. So now we have the outline of basically what we have on this side over here. And you just want to check it to make sure that it's pretty much mimicking what you have on both sides, or pretty close to it. So then you could heavy it in a little bit so you know what you have. And if you have to massage it a little bit, do that. You know, I'm going to be happy with what I have here. And come around like this. Okay. So we got that. Now, I want the eyes to sort of line up with each other. And part of the problem is the eyes are actually going to end up, when I bring the finished piece in, see, the eyes, here's the center line right here, and it's inward. So it's not going to be out here, but we're going to drill holes in there just to establish it later. But to keep them right across from each other so that they're in line with each other, like where this eye is from here to here, they should be in the same position. So I'm going to show you how to do this. You have a flat spot here for the face, or sort of flat. I'm going to ask you, looking at this eye, I gave you a cross here on this side. I'm going to bring this up to the top here, okay? And I'm holding this, you know, on its back here, so that this is like flat with my table. And what I want to do is draw a perpendicular line, which is right from this point, straight across. And if you, I don't know how accurate every one of these is cut out, but if I had to give you some reference from this corner down to here, it's here, let me put a number on there. Looks like 3/16 now. Okay, from this edge right here. Not that that edge is so meaningful, but what I'm doing, and I want to make this perpendicular. And one way to get it perpendicular is you get your inch mark in line with the center line. Okay, like here's the center line. I'll get my inch mark running the same way, and then I'll bring it up to that point that matches on this side. Let me do this. And then, and this is kind of hard because I wants to walk on you, but right in there, it's saying that straight across is perpendicular, and then I'm going to bring this down on the other side like this. Okay, so it's almost as if I got a knife and cut it through. That's what it looks like, okay? Now that I have a point of reference where this is the action line that would match up with this side, I said before that this eye, if I took a measurement, is from the outside edge in, it is a little better than 1/8 of an inch. So if I tried to get real critical, I'll go to the outside edge, come in a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch, and we put that little arc going this way now, and we go out and make a 5 diameter circle, millimeter that is now. Then we have both sides, okay? And the eyes line up with each other, and everything else pretty close, okay? So I want you to accomplish this much, if you would, and work on that. And then on the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to start shaping this, okay? we won't go for the eyes right away because what's going to happen is the eyes are going to move in and we have to shape the head. The head, in essence, like we know we have a nose that's going to be right, maybe, I'd say the nose is, here, let me not guess. I'll give you a whiff for the nose real quick here. Looks like 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so if I come over here and I lay my ruler right on the center and measure out 1/8 of an inch on one side and 1/8 of an inch on the other side, that's my nose right there. Okay, a little sweep, just a little sweep right in there. And we're going to really dress it. But in essence, when you go to make this later, we're going to have to come up and trim this like this. But I'm not worried about that now. We'll do a step-by-step along the way here to bring this in. And for the distance we are over here, it's going to be the same over here coming down. And you can see how this narrows in. I will get you to narrow that in. So don't worry about this right now. One other thing I do want to accomplish right now is we want to, with the ears, I'm going to give you, if you look down on here, well, you can see it right here. See this valley? There's like a valley right in the middle of the head here. And that's this area right here, okay? And if you laid this like over top of here, that's exactly what you got, okay? This is all to scale. So these are true patterns that are giving you exactly everything. So if I was giving you some fictitious number, you can always measure right off of this and get a feel for it. Now, I'm looking at this one here. I'm going to do this just to show you how we could nail some of it down. From the top of the ear to top of the ear, I'm going to draw a straight line right across. Oh, I didn't bring it down far enough. Let me come back on here. I want it from tip of ear to tip of ear. I'm going to lay that right about there. And I'll run a line right across, okay? So from the center down at the top of the ear, looks like almost, but not quite, 1/4 of an inch. So what we're saying is, as you're looking at this from what would be the top of the ear down, I'm going to come in here and hold my ruler, and I'm going to measure just slightly less than 1/4 of an inch. And I'm putting a dot at that point. So I'm saying from the top of what the ear would be, okay, which is here, and you notice, see what I'm holding myself here. It's not something you could just lay because it's rolling. So from this edge in, it's 1/4 of an inch down, okay? Then I want to get this swinging up, and what I'm going to do is give you some boundaries on that. So from the center line out, I want to get, just for the heck of it, we'll do this. I'm going to come right up on the center line at the top of the head here, lay my ruler on there, and then I'm going to come out 1/4 of an inch over and put a dot from the center over, and then another 1/4 of an inch this way at the top and put a dot, okay? So from the center here over, it's 1/4 at the top of the ear and 1/4 of an inch over to here. And then what we're going to do is going to make a nice little sweep right in here up to that 1/4 of an inch, okay? And it's just like a slight arc, so that when you're looking in, you almost have that profile, okay? We don't have a rounded ear yet, so don't worry about the corners, but if you can get that in, that'll be great, just there, okay? And if you're looking in, you can see it almost looks like this. It's a 1/4 of an inch in, and it's a 1/4 of an inch out on each side. So let's say we stop at that point to get to all the markings, and then when we come back on the next video, we're going to start relieving these. And this will come pretty fast, okay? This is not it's just getting rid of some of the material. We're definitely got to get the squareness out, and I'll show you how to do that. And then from there, we'll start building this, and before you know it, you'll have your mouse. So hope you guys will enjoy this. It's a nice novelty project. It's very whimsical, and that's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to get so serious right on this project. I mean, I'll be back on birds again and animals and what have you, but I figured I'd try this one just to tickle your fancy, if that's the case. So again, if you need anything, definitely get a hold of me through my email address. And I also, in the body of the video, in the description, is my email address there as well. If you want to get patterns for this or any other bird I do, or feed or eyes or what have you, definitely contact me. I do have other equipment in there. And if you touch base with me, if you're looking for items that may be part of what you're trying to develop to put something together, I have bases. I have a lot of other things that aren't in the catalog neither. So if you talk to me, we can see what we can do. And if I don't have it, I can put you on to where you can get these things, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, I'd ask you to, again, give me a thumbs up. And if you can subscribe to my channel, that would be great. And if you have a friend out there that may be wanting to try these things, this is a nice, easy project to do. It's not as tedious as the birds. And if you just want to get his whistle a little bit, this is a good project to get into. And you could do this with a knife too. I'm going to do it with power because that's the way I've been geared up for. And I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you on the next video. And then we'll start shaping the mouse. So see you then. You take care. Bye.